You know, there's been a lot of debate with school boards over whether or not mask mandates should be in place. What's the science behind it? Most of the people that don't want mask mandates are also the individuals that don't believe in vaccination. That's right. They don't want to be vaccinated themselves, which means they're a part of the perpetual problem that we've got going on when it comes to COVID. My argument is, and it will remain, that the more people that get vaccinated, the less we're going to have debates about whether or not schools need to wear masks. Well, down in Florida, there's a school board member that raised some of these issues on how she's being treated as a school board member and has been for quite some time. So she didn't run to the school board meeting to complain until it absolutely had to be brought up. Jennifer Jenkins is from Florida. Brevard, I think I'm pronouncing it right, Brevard, Florida, and she's a school board member. And so just take a listen to what she said at that school board meeting.
And lead by example, but I probably would have appreciated that acknowledgement 6 months ago when I started dealing with this stuff, because in spite of what people believe, I am not opposed to people practicing their First Amendment rights, even when it's outside of my home on a public property. I'm not. I think it's a silly method. I think it's ineffective. It doesn't move me or motivate me in any way, but I'm not opposed to it. What I reject is this effort to create fear and division in the community that leads to credible threats of violence against me and my family. And there's a lot of things that I haven't shared with all of you up here. I've tried not to talk about this stuff publicly. And when you guys brought this up today in the workshop, I felt off guard and frustrated, because then it became something on our agenda that I couldn't express to you why I was against it any longer, because now it has to be in the sunshine. I don't reject people coming here and speaking their voice. They do it all the time. We don't stop them from doing that. I don't reject them standing outside my home. I reject them following me around in a car, following my car around. I reject them saying that they're coming for me, that I need to beg for mercy. I reject that when they are using their First Amendment rights on public property, they're also going behind my home and brandishing their weapons to my neighbors, that they're making false DCF claims against me to my daughter, that I have to take a DCF investigator to her play date to go underneath her clothing and check for burn marks. That's what I'm against, which is a credible threat and calculated.
So think about that, ladies and gentlemen. Just think about that for a second. This is a woman who ran for the school board. She ran for the school board, obviously believing in public education and wanting a better education for her children and everybody else's children, I might add. So what is she dealing with now because of a mask mandate that was put on in that school? She's got people behind her house brandishing weapons, making sure not only do they intimidate her and her family, but the neighbors as well, because they want everybody to hate her, right? That's the key, to have everybody hate her. And then make sure you know, and she knows exactly how much she's hated. So what better way to do that than to lie? Just go to social services and lie and say she's burning her kid. That's what she's doing. It's underneath her shirt or underneath her pants or wherever, but she's burning that kid. You need to check it out. Well, what choice does social services have, right? They got this complaint. They got it filed. So what are they going to do? They're going to have to go investigate. So they go get this mother, and they go to where that child is on a play date. And what do? You make that child take their clothes off so that they can be inspected. How vicious do these anti-vaxxers, anti-maskers get? This is an extension, ladies and gentlemen. These are the same people that when they saw the insurrection happening at the Capitol on January 6th, they were high-fiving. These are individuals that go to the altar of Trump. And believe me, you're saying, how do these two get connected? They do. They do. They're deniers. They're deniers of what we're seeing play out in this pandemic. They won't get vaccinated. They won't help us all by getting vaccinated, by putting this pandemic behind all of us. But you know what they'll do? They'll make a little boy or a little girl sit there, and every time they drive by that home, they're going to remember that they had to pull their pants down and get checked for burn marks. They're going to make sure that every time that little boy or little girl are with that friend that they went to a play date with, every time they're with that friend, they think of it. They think of how embarrassed they were. They think about every time when they talk about mom being on the school board, that this is what conjures up in their mind. How proud those protesters must be. We had them here in Fargo. We had these individuals in Fargo putting false names on petitions, going out and making sure people signed petitions that weren't eligible to sign petitions because they were going to recall these school board members. We had them. They're here. In fact, those same people on January 6th that found their way in buses organized by media here in North Dakota, those very people are some of the ones that are protesting at the school boards right now.